go. Is it on?
Come on, some more enthusiasm, please.
What are you talking about? Did you hear the volume in that?
Well, not volume, but like...
Hello. Actually, hilarious thing. My philosophy, well, this is not the funny part, but my advisor and philosophy professor from college just recently died. And I spent a big chunk of time just thinking about him the other night. And one of my favorite memories is sitting in one of the gen ed philosophy classes. I was a minor, so I took those and the other ones. And my friend Mike sitting next to me and him asleep. And all of a sudden, him like dead asleep, he's got his hat pulled down over his eyes, his arms crossed, and he just goes, ah!
In the class?
I mean, so like the most insanely loud moan.
Yeah.
Everything stops, and my professor just stops and looks over. And I just waved like,
it's not me.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No big deal.
But you didn't wake up or anything?
No, we never woke up.
Did you tell him afterwards?
Well, after like class went back to normal, I just nudged him. I'm like, hey. He's like, what?
You made some noise there.
I'll tell you later, but I don't want to know what you're dreaming about.
I know,
just
yeah.
Forget it.
Aw.
Sorry, guys. Story time in
Side
the podcast.
note, that's fine. In this podcast today, it features Kids, a new band on RadioU that we have a chance to introduce you to.
Yeah, where'd that interview go?
We got to put it in there.
Well, I copied it, but I don't see it in the list.
We want to make sure it gets added to the list.
I'm going to make sure that's true. We also talk about the new Young Rock TV series. The Conan show. Emojis and gifts and men. Spider-Man Ultimate, what do they call it? Spider-Man Remastered on the PlayStation 5. Bob Ross, Twitch, Lipstick Ponies.
There's an update on the Lipstick Pony thing.
Eminem Tattoos. Filing your teeth.
Someone was asking when we talked about the Eminem tattoo, because the world record was for 50-something.
Yeah.
The world record was actually for 15 portraits of an artist.
52, so I got the number wrong on that.
She has that many, but they're not all portraits of him.
Right.
So
she has 16 portraits.
Yes, the portraits is what the world record's for.
Okay.
That was given at 15. She's since got a second one or another one for 16. But she has a ton of other Eminem-related tattoos. Those just are not a part of the record.
It's fine.
It's okay.
It's fine. She's fine.
Yeah, she's just got plenty of them.
Sure, it's fine. Let's see. Anything else? No, I think that's it.
That's it. So, well, enjoy the podcast today. We hope you guys have a wonderful one. We're also heading over to our Facebook page to do a Riot live event. So if you want to, when you're done with this podcast, follow us at RadioU Riot on Facebook, and you can watch that and watch the kids interview there.
All right, guys. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
A Rotten Tomatoes score so high, they refuse to make it public. The Riot on Radio U.
Now, today I want you to pay very close attention to me and the things that I have to say, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because last night I started reading a book that's probably changing my whole life, and I'm going to be totally different now.
Oh, so this, just especially you today, should be all new.
Yeah, everything's changing. Everything.
Well, can we ask what book it was?
Yes, it's called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie.
Oh.
I was listening to somebody whose name I can't remember, give a speech last night. It was coherent, so don't worry. They weren't running for political office. And they they said, they were a professor, and they're like, one of the books that I make my incoming freshman read is this book. And I was like, that's interesting. So that's not what they teach, but you'll get that sometimes. You'll go into a classroom where a professor's like, hey, I think this book's so important. It's on the syllabus, even though it has nothing to do with what we're learning in this particular class.
It's more of a personal favor, and it would do you well.
Yeah. And so I looked at that and I thought, you know what? What do you... Okay, sure. So I got it on Amazon for $0.25. Yeah. It's not a new book.
Oh, is he older? Is it from the olden times?
The book is 35 years old.
Oh, okay.
But
it's not as bad as I thought you would say.
Right. I read the first couple chapters last night. It wasn't bad. The idea that I think stuck with me the most is it's basically about, hey, focus on today and not tomorrow. And their idea, or his like example that he got from somebody else, was he said, when you go on a ship, it has what they call watertight compartments.
Yeah.
So that if one of those compartments got, they would close that off so the boat wouldn't sink. And he said he was talking about learning to make day-tight compartments where you only, like, your day is a day-tight compartment. It doesn't mean you don't prepare for tomorrow, but you don't worry about tomorrow. And when I say it out loud, it sounds way less interesting than when I was reading it last night.
Oh, no, I bet it's good, though.
So some professor I never met recommended a book I've never heard of. And, of course, I just ran right out and got it.
And now he's going to read it. And he'll share with us.
If it had been more expensive, I might not have. But when I saw that it was $25, I was like,
why not?
I can swing it.
Well, you remember what today is, right? So you ready to start a new day and a good day? Come on! It's October 1st.
I looked at it and I was like, I'll get it later.
Hey, just only worry about today, all right? Only worry about today.
Just worry about, day-tight compartments.
That's all you have to worry about.
What you're about to hear will live on the internet forever. Sorry, Internet, the worst of the Riot podcast.
Listen, we all have ideas. We all need those ideas. Okay, we don't need all the ideas expressed, but when you work in the creative field, a lot of times you maybe have an idea, you write it down.
Yeah.
And then when you're in the middle of kind of a dry spell, you can't think of anything, you go back to that idea. I'm not sure where this idea falls in that spectrum of creativity, but apparently yesterday NBC announced a new sitcom called Young Rock.
Oh, why?
And if you're thinking that they're rebooting 30 Rock,
it's not it.
It's not that. Don't worry, that's never in danger of happening. No, this is about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson when he was a kid.
Doesn't it feel like in order to get something else that The Rock wanted, like a movie or a series or something, that this was just thrown in for NBC to get?
I don't know.
It feels like it was like, here you go, you can have this. Like they were throwing them a bone.
I actually thought it was the other way around. Like, in order to get The Rock to star in Fast and the Furious 18, they had to give him this sitcom project that he's always wanted to do about his life.
I guess if it shows like he's a part of it, like actually doing it. If not, I feel like it's something NBC wanted to make, and The Rock was like, okay, fine. What is it about, though? Really? Like when he was younger with wrestling, or?
No, like when he was a kid. So, okay. Let me just read it to you. So rather than filter it,
I'll just judge from this.
Straight from the host.
From Young Rock.
Young Rock, an upcoming NBC comedy, executive produced and starring Dwayne Johnson, has tapped Adrian Gruel to play 10-year-old Dwayne, who's described as an honest, headstrong, impressionable, and bold, and Bradley Constant to play him at age 15, at which point he's doing his best to fit in as a normal teenager, and Uli Latakufu to play him at ages 18 to 20 when he was recruited to play football on a scholarship.
Okay. All right, I guess.
I guess that it will...
So it doesn't seem like that'll cover into the wrestling stuff.
No. This is just going to be him at different stages of his life. But now I don't know if every episode, like, will it have a theme and you'll see different actors at different moments?
Sure.
Will they do like a week of Young Rock, a week of Middle Rock? Like, I don't know.
Will it do flashbacks or flash forwards?
I know this. I feel like they're vastly overestimating my interest in both The Rock and his life.
Oh, don't tell them that. They don't want the surprise ruined.
Well, and I don't
it's
even
not
mean
a mean
that.
thing. It's just, it's just not as interesting when you hear it. But maybe it'll be done so well, you'll be impressed.
Yeah, just like so many other things on NBC, I'll be blown away.
I also don't know if I feel like NBC is the right fit for this, but I don't know who would be the right fit for it. I don't have an answer. Humor on NBC is different than humor on different networks. No one would be.
The new all rock streaming channel that he's been dreaming up for a while. I don't know. This just feels like a combination of hubris and overreach.
So when is it supposed to be out?
Probably never. Honestly, I got nothing. I don't know when it's supposed to be out. Probably next year, but it doesn't say.
This feels like a push for Peacock. Maybe that's
Premiere,
it.
okay, slated to premiere sometime next year.
Next year. So if you're a fan of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he'll have a show about young Rock on NBC.
And if you asked me, am I a fan? I would say, yeah. I think he's great. He seems like a nice guy, and I think he's got great on-screen presence. I don't think he's an amazing actor necessarily, but that's not always what you need to be a good action film star. So...
Actually, a lot of times you should not have that in order to be a big action star.
It's fine.
So.
The Riot with Obadiah and Nikki on RadioU.
You know what, Nikki? While we're talking about action stars and TV shows and whatever, yesterday Netflix made a new announcement for another new TV show that you're not going to care about.
What'd they say?
Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, Conan the Barbarian.
On Netflix. Now, it was, I guess, like a series of books, and then comic books, and then there were 2 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then I thought it was remade.
It was with, what's-his-face from The One Thing.
Jason Momoa?
Yep. Pretty sure.
Did it come out?
It did.
Did it do anything?
I think it might be on, it's on like Amazon, Netflix or something, because I know I saw it and I was like, hey, I'll put that in my queue and watch it sometime, which we all know is a lie. And so I did, and I have definitely never seen it.
Conan is not He-Man, right? Because they're also doing that movie's being done.
That's also true.
Okay, so this is separate.
Yeah, this is something else.
So Netflix is going to do this.
Yeah.
Great.
So look, I mean, what they got their lines crossed. That's where you put The Rock.
Oh, is it? Yeah, right there.
That's where that goes.
So it'll be an epic live action series, and it'll be to Netflix. They saw such a success with The Witcher that it's going to have a similar genre concept to that.
Okay, sure. So
that's what they're saying.
Yeah. Destined to wear the jeweled crown of Apollonia upon a troubled brow.
Is that something from Conan?
It is I, his chronicler alone, who can tell you of his saga. Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
So Conan was supposed to be kind of redone across the board of media, like with video games and comics. And there was supposedly a live-action series that was supposed to be made at Amazon.
Okay.
That ended up never happening in 18. So it's now moved to Netflix, and they're going to try to do something there.
Wow, that Jason Momoa movie they did?
Yeah.
A budget over $90 million, but it made like 60-something million.
This feels right for Netflix. Or like a streaming service, it feels right.
You know what? I don't know. Some muscle-bound guy swinging a sword. Granted, that probably is everything, but there's something about it where I'm like, I just don't think Conan is interesting enough.
Well, if they make it more, again, like the Witcher style, that did so well for them.
It did do well for them.
They just have to make it feel like that, and that's all they need.
Okay. Well, coming soon to Netflix, Conan the Barbarian.
This one is actually a little far out, so it'll come soon, maybe, one day.
Maybe. Probably.
What we don't realize is a lot of things go in between the streaming services. Like this one was at Amazon for a while.
And now it's almost at Netflix.
Yeah, you have no idea where your shows, how long they take to make and how many places they go before they land up and actually be made.
So you're saying I'm going to see the young Rock before I see Conan?
No, that could also fall in the same way.
Also true.
Who knows what we'll see?
We've got an archive of everything stupid the Riot has ever said at your fingertips. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
So, Nikki, have you looked at, you did install iOS 14.
I did, yeah.
In fact, you've impressed me with all of your insider knowledge because I installed it, but have just been really too lazy to do a darn thing with it.
It's not too much unless you want to go all in on like the designing
the
of your widgets and stuff.
Yeah.
People have gone way into it, but yeah, I think it's been fine, but it wasn't anything too amazing.
Well, Nikki, I'll tell you, people are bored.
So they want to design. It's fine.
It's not wrong.
There's no problem.
No, but did you see that they also added new emojis?
No, I did not.
Okay, they added a bunch of new emojis, inclui the chef's kiss, which I don't think looks anything like a chef's kiss. But
is that
that
thing? Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like, there's a cat, there's a Santa hat guy, who has glasses. There's a family restroom. Is that what that is? Like, there's a ladder, there's a hook. But I'll just tell you, the thing that I care about the most that they added is they've now added a ninja.
Oh, well, there you go. For all your ninja needs.
Well, you know what? There's something about me that you don't know.
What?
Do you know that I have a couple of friends that refer to me as the retail ninja?
No way. So now when you tweet something, you can do that?
Well, when I text it to them, because this is just another example of Nikki and I living a weird, whatever, computer-based life. Nikki and I look at deal of the day websites. And so if they're trying to figure out a cheap way to get something, they'll text me and be like, hey, have you seen anything for blank?
Everybody always asks you.
And I'll say the retail ninja is happening.
Is that a polar bear? Is it a polar bear? Is it like a koala?
Let's see. This lists it as a... Let's see, gray cat, bison, woolly mammoth, beaver, and baby seal. They don't mention.
Oh, it's a baby seal. Oh, that's so cute. It looks like it could work for either thing, but it's cute.
If you wanted to call, I don't think so, Nikki. No. Look at I don't know if we're looking at the same article, but if you
there's the baby seal.
There's the baby seal.
Yeah,
so whatever that is,
bear?
It's got to be something else.
Did I not even know I could be texting everybody little baby polar bears?
You could be sending polar bears.
They're cute. Okay, well, yeah, I didn't even catch that. You just get so used to the same list.
Let's see. Oh man. Okay. Like
yes.
I'm looking for it. I've just gotten to the point to where he hasn't. The ninja guy doesn't show up in my emojis yet.
He might not be. That's for the 14.2 beta, so I don't think these are out there.
So it's not there yet.
Not yet.
Okay. So we're waiting for that first patch to 14.2, but that means they're coming.
You can expect that in a month or two when it comes out but for beta now.
Okay. Oh, yes. So that means if you're somebody that upgraded or like you're in the early preview stuff, you could be using these emojis right now.
That also means if you do text back and forth with Obi and I, you're going to get a ninja and a polar bear every day.
Undoubtedly.
So excited.
Undoubtedly coming soon.
Is that boba tea too? Oh, this is all good.
Wait, where do you see the boba tea?
It's next to the teapot. Yeah, that one's fun.
Fascinating.
All right, well, you just forget. You think that there's an emoji for everything, but, there's not. Now there's more.
Mm-hmm. You're listening to The Riot. Let's all work together today to live life with the patience of a Nikki dealing with an Obadiah.
Gotta hang in there and get through it.
You're listening to The Riot.
So I don't know who, some blogger or something, I don't know, blah, blah, whatever. They tweeted the other day that they felt like men should not use emojis, that emojis are for women and children.
A blogger said that? Some social media person.
Some whatever. Their whole job is making you mad about something. Seriously, that is how that whole industry functions.
That's how social media is. So
that being said, Nikki, how do you feel when you get a text message, let's say from a man that's not me or Eric? Sure. Because I'm sure Eric probably uses emojis. Not much.
He usually, if he uses like a GIF or something, I'm just like totally happy with it.
Yes, okay.
Because I usually send something, so when I see something come back, it's like, oh, that's great. That's how we're communicating.
Now, admittedly, I'm way more into GIFs than emojis. I actually love GIFs. I could just convert to completely communicating through GIFs and just drop the texting altogether.
I don't mind if it's a guy that sends them in, but if I don't know them as well and that's like all they do, then that can be a little weird. But that would be same thing if it was a girl and I just didn't know them as well.
So you're saying that emojis are okay, you just don't want too many.
Yeah, and sometimes it's more, I feel appropriate when it's from someone you're more familiar with.
Okay. All right. So there's a level of familiarity.
Yeah. So like, let's say you had a professor or your boss or someone was like always sending them to you. That'd be a bit weird.
Like, hey.
It's a little too personal.
Hey, but what if they were sending you gifts all the time?
That's also a little weird, but could really work. It just depends on your relationship with them.
Okay. That's fair. Like that. I don't hold to the, like, there's nothing. I think his point was like, can you see your great-grandfather using emojis?
Come on. It's not like it's not manly. It's fine.
I don't know my great-grandfather. For all I know, he would have been an emoji fool.
They would have loved them.
He would have just constantly be sending it to me.
No, I don't like when people are just trying to say something to get a rise out of one side or the other.
Okay. So I will say, like, I'm not a big emoji user, but I will. Sometimes you need an emoji Because like you got to help them understand what you're trying to communicate with what you're sending.
Again, it really depends on the person you're communicating with, but sometimes they're a help, and sometimes it's not right time for it.
Okay, so emojis, okay, don't use too many, according to Nikki. And if you're listening,
the relationship between the people.
And if you're listening to me, what you should really consider is just switching over to GIFs altogether.
So if you want to just always text us that way, that's fine.
Yeah.
The worst of the worst. Are you ready? The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
Remember when we were all climbing over each other to get the Popeye's chicken sandwich?
Yeah.
And remember all the online articles that were like, this is the suburbs versus the herbs versus the this. And like
a lot of Chick-fil-A versus Popeyes versus was it the Wendy's chicken sandwich or which one? What was the other one?
Like, wasn't McDonald's supposed to compete?
No, I don't think it did.
So Wendy's?
No.
Sure.
They were going to make one that was similar to that style, but
they couldn't get it to market fast enough.
Yeah, there was one other thing. There was one other place in the mix of all that.
Okay. Now, the people that brought you the Popeye's chicken sandwich are bringing you stuffed beignets?
Beignets, yeah.
What is that?
It's the New Orleans, it's a puff pastry sort of thing with the powdered sugar all over it. Do you remember that?
No.
It
sounds delicious.
I don't think it has anything in there we wouldn't like. So it's got chocolate stuffed in it, though.
Okay.
So it's a pastry.
So, oh boy, when can we get those? Where do you see that?
So it's fried dough, liberally dusted with powdered sugar.
Okay.
And then it has a special chocolate stuffed center to it. You'll get 3 beignets or 6 or a dozen if you'd like to go for the full thing.
Come on.
They are testing them in Massachusetts at a few locations.
Gosh, who's got time for that?
I know we're not going to have that. And then it says that they will be going out nationwide, so they must have done well enough for it. So limited now. They'll get a nationwide release, but they're not saying when.
So do they still do the chicken sandwich?
Yeah, they do.
I should go to Popeyes.
I went a few months ago and got one, and I mean it was amazing.
They're so good.
Okay, everybody come closer though, right?
All right, I'm leaning in.
I don't know if it's a management thing or whatever, but whenever you go to a Popeyes, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. So when I went the 2-3 times to get this thing, every time it's can you pull forward? Because, they're having a thing. People are yelling. It has to be brought out to you. And so I think I waited maybe 15 minutes for it last time just because it was just a mess going on.
So you're saying plan for extra time.
And just don't go in thinking it's going to be a simple thing. And it wasn't just because I ordered that sandwich. It's always a mess there. And I don't know why.
Well, you know what? They're probably trying to get the powdered sugar on the beignets.
Well, not yet.
I'll tell you, if like the poor man's quick version at home, you can buy some croissant dough that, the, what do you call it? Pillsbury or whatever. If you take that, you stretch it out, and then you shove it full of like a stack of chocolate chips, and then you wrap it up and bake it. You get something very similar to this.
Sounds good. So
I think.
Mitch texted, said that's how the KFC by his house is. It's just a mess. It's good. Food is good, but it's a mess in there.
Oh, listen, no offense, but I don't think I've ever been to a KFC.
That's not been just
that was not
struggling.
Massively chaotic.
Annie texted, said, I've yet to make it to a Popeyes. The last time we tried, it was closed from COVID. But
well, that's too bad.
Those are open. So the beignets are being tested in the Boston area, and they'll be nationwide at some point. It looks like probably next year.
Well, I hope to get a chance to eat them.
The whining, the loathing, the insightful commentary on postmodern historical doctrine. Okay, maybe not the last one. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
So if you've been paying attention to the whole, new Xbox, new PlayStation, new whatever thing, which I, of course, have been doing, though the closer we get, I feel like I am less interested.
Now, is that because the suspense leading up to so many months of actually wanting the details, and then when they finally said the price and the release date?
Maybe.
Then it was just like, oh, now you're just waiting to either not get it or waiting to spend all that money on it. So you're kind of sad.
I think part of it just comes down to neither of them have like, ooh, I can't wait to play that game, and it's only on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Or, there's no exclusives. There's really not any big launch games. To me, the closest you get to a really big launch game is that new Assassin's Creed, and you can play that on everything, including the console you own right now.
Uh-oh.
You know what I mean?
So you don't have anything exciting game-wise.
So the one thing that Sony is banking on is how much you're going to want to play Spider-Man Miles Morales, or how much you're going to want to play Spider-Man. Wait, see, now I got to look. Okay, because I thought it was all one thing, but it's not.
Okay, they're two different?
Okay, so for the PlayStation 5, you can buy Spider-Man Miles Morales. Is
that the full game, or is that the thing that's not a full game and people are going to be really sad?
You see how complicated it is?
Yeah, which one is it?
Let me help you. You will pay $69.99 for that. You'll get it's a game, but it's not a full game, whatever.
Sure.
Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is like the side story. But you'll also get Spider-Man Remastered, which is the entire original Spider-Man game, plus that DLC or like that standalone thing.
Or the Miles Morales thing?
Yeah, but if you have a PlayStation 4, you can also buy Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Don't ruin it.
And you don't need a PlayStation 5 to play it.
Oh.
Ouch.
Uh-oh.
At least to me, that's how I feel. I'm like, wait,
so there's no game for the Xbox or PlayStation that can only be played on it. That's like the new hotness. They don't have anything driving you to buy the new thing when you can just use the old one.
The other thing that's really odd is that they have, if you get Spider-Man Remastered, that's a PlayStation 5 game.
Mm-hmm.
If you get that, they have replaced the motion capture actor that played Peter Parker in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So if you get Spider-Man Remastered, it's a different Peter Parker.
Why? Why did they do that? Was that a licensing thing? Or
I don't know why. It must be. I mean, I've seen a couple of different theories online. I've heard this and that. I look at it, and my guess is somebody somewhere money. It's got to be that,
well, it has
right?
to be a legal reason, like maybe he has certain moves that are trademarked for something else.
Something.
There's always follow the money, and that'll show you what's going on.
Yeah, so it's odd. They released video of like the side-by-sides, like, hey, here's the person in Spider-Man. Here he is in Spider-Man Remastered, and you can see the difference. It's odd. It just feels like an odd choice, but whatever.
They did it.
In the meantime, I'm waiting it out. I'm not saying I won't get a PlayStation 5. I'm just not sure that I'm going to be getting one, say, November 12th.
Yeah. Aw. If they would have had more games, it would have been more exciting. You would have been all over it.
Absolutely.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
If you sat down and talked to your grandparents about what is right and wrong, you'd have like a couple of things that you guys would probably agree on, but then there'd be things that they thought were okay that you'd be like, oh my gosh, don't say that. Or the other way around. And they'd be like, well, you don't dress that way. Oh my gosh. A lot of societal standards, they change over time, depending on circumstances, blah, 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 whatever. I don't know. But it's not just what we think is okay to wear or what's okay to say. There's a lot of things that change, a lot of underlying things. And quite frankly, I don't think we take very much time to look at it very often. But man, I'll tell you right now, the stuff you read online, the movies you watch, the TV shows you watch, underneath them is a school of thought about how to live life, about what to do. I mean, a lot of times comedy comes from showing something that you're like, oh, I would never do that. And that's part of what makes it funny. And so in the middle of all of that, one of the things that I am constantly talking to God about is like, hey, I want you to show me how to live. Because here's the reality, is that God does have a different way of doing things. And you'll see the people around you, there's a lot of change. And as I said, from generation to generation, year to year, month to month, like what is okay. I mean, can you imagine a year ago arguing with people over the morality of wearing a mask? Like, you'd be like, what are you even talking about? Society changes, right? But God stays the same. And one of the things that I have noticed is it's not that doing things the way Jesus wants you to is always like the easiest way to always do things. Sometimes it's a little harder. But I feel like in the long game, it's been a lot better. Like things have been better because of the way that God has shown me how to do things. And a lot of times, the places where things haven't worked out, that's where I've been like, nah.
Try it on your own.
You don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to do it my way. All right? So what I'm saying to you is that God doesn't just want to be your friend. He doesn't just want to be, a good time buddy that you can hang out with on a Friday night or whatever. God actually wants to get down to living the business of day-to-day life with you and showing you what to do with your time and how to live. And man, that's actually, I'm asking Jesus that all the time. Jesus, just show me how to live. Show me how this is done. If you want to have a relationship with God, it's not just about hugs and high fives. If you want something that's even more than that, that's about life and day-to-day life and where to be and how to do it, man, you're ready for a relationship with Jesus. Just invite him in and say, Jesus, I need that. I want you to show me what to do and how to live. I need you to forgive me, but I also want you to move into my heart, fill me with your spirit, and show me how to do life. Man, that's great. I like doing life with God.
The Riot is well-versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on RadioU.
So apparently this is old news, but it's new to me. Like I just saw it, but the date on this is like from August. Did you know that they're doing a Bob Ross Monopoly game?
Oh, I did not. No, I didn't hear that. I mean, I don't know if I'm signed up for the news sources to tell me something like that, but
well, I don't know.
What does that even look like?
Well, it looks like Bob Ross playing Monopoly.
All right.
So the idea here is, when you play Monopoly, normally you're trading property, but this puts you in the place of owning Bob Ross paintings. And then you are buying and selling Bob Ross paintings.
And it's out. It's something that is already done.
Yeah, so the items that move around the board are... what do you call what you paint on? An easel?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, an owl, a bunny, a tree, a fence.
No, it's not a bunny. It's what did he always say? A little squirrel. It's a happy little squirrel.
Okay.
I think that's a squirrel, not a bunny.
Now that you say that,
yeah.
I see that I mistook tails for ears.
So, because he used to always say that. He would just put a little happy little squirrel would live there.
I'm going to tell you.
Just don't know.
I didn't watch a lot of Bob Ross.
That became real popular.
I know.
I don't know, maybe 5 years.
When marijuana got legalized around the United States, Bob Ross suddenly became very popular, as if there was a connection.
Yeah, I think when people started cutting cable and then that moved in, we were just starting to watch anything. And that just became very popular.
Bob and some edibles.
Maybe. And little squirrels.
Can't fool me.
But yeah, you have that and a little happy tree. So you got all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. And so you can buy and sell these paintings. I mean, virtually, of course. And then they say it's the most chill Monopoly out there.
Did you say how you build cabins and covered bridges?
No.
That's the stuff with it, too. So
is it?
It looks cute.
Oh, cabins. So that's the houses and hotels.
Yes, that's the houses and stuff.
For a minute, I was like, what are you talking about?
No, that's the stuff there.
I got it. Cabins, covered bridges.
So it looks like it's about $40. I'm looking at PBS, their website, which is where they have it. That is a lot.
Listen, you think you want it, but you don't.
No, we went through a real phase. We were like, let's have all these themed Monopoly sets for all these Monopoly parties and get-togethers and Christmas things you would have, but you don't need it. You're just not going to use them.
You think you will.
Unless you want them just as like Christmas decoration or just decor.
Yeah.
But that'd be about it.
Yeah, it's not going to be, I'm not trying to, make you feel bad.
Listen, we're not saying no. If you want to buy it, then that's fine.
You go ahead.
We're just saying we didn't know it was even out.
Feel good about it.
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Joining us this morning, the two frontmen, 4 kids. And give us your names again.
Josh and Josiah.
Josh, good job.
There you
Nikki.
go. Good morning, Josh. Good morning, Josiah. How are you guys?
Good morning. We're doing great. Thank you for having us.
No problem.
Yeah,
you
right
are
on.
welcome anytime.
So you're brand new to the RadioU family, but I was doing some reading. You guys have been doing music since 2012. Is that right?
Yeah. Actually, most of us have been doing music since high school together. But this project, we've been going strong since 2012. Yeah.
Okay, right on. So, well, you know what? Take us back to high school a little bit so we can get some background. Like, what?
How did it become?
Like, how did you guys come together in 2012?
Oh man, so Josiah and I have been playing since. Geez, you must have been a freshman at the time. We were in various hardcore bands, hardcore Christian, and then we had a few worship bands that me and like our drummer Matt and guitar player Christian were playing on together. So just kind of youth group kids, you know.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
And so then
this must have been. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. So then at some point, Kids emerges, and
out of all of that.
Yeah.
Fast forward a few years, and all of a sudden you're on Tooth and Nail Records.
Yeah. 1, 2, skip a few, and we're on Tooth and Nail Records.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are in Florida. What's like? You said you're in a video studio. What are you guys doing during the day down there that you're in a video studio?
Yeah. So actually, everyone in the band is in some capacity in production. So I'm a director of photography and a director and an editor. Josh is a music producer and audio technician. Christian's a graphic designer. Matt is a creative producer. Andrew's a photographer. So our day-to-day, when we're not writing music, touring, etc., we're shooting commercials, shooting short films, shooting music videos, kind of all of the encompassing production sort of facets. So yeah.
So does this make it harder that everybody is so creative? Because sometimes when, like, you know, you have a room full of creative people, that can be difficult, or is it just helpful? Because anytime you need something, someone in the room is always there who can help in one aspect, one way or another.
So more a blessing than a curse.
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone is super talented, but that also means that our taste levels are higher, and
right.
So yeah, it's actually amazing. So we operate, our band operates as our own small creative agency with all of the assets that we create for the band.
That's so smart. Well, this is Kids, new on RadioU, Josh and Josiah. And if you want to watch their studio space, you can hang out and see them. If you hop over to our Facebook page right now, RadioU Riot, you can see them as we talk with them.
So one of the things that really stuck out to me about your new song, and Nikki's a fan, is the saxophone that is prominently featured in your single. So tell us, have you always had a sax in there, or was it just that this song you felt like, this is the song that needs the sax?
It's a great question. So we historically have been big fans of just having some brass in our live show. We have an amazing trumpeter that also plays a flute, and he's been touring with us for a while. His name is AJ as well. And so when writing this song, we were in the studio. I mean, it was screaming that line needed to be saxophone.
It needed it.
Okay.
It needed it. So come to find out, our trumpet player is the only thing he plays better than trumpet is saxophone. And so he brought his sax with him to the studio and just ripped it, man. It was just so cool.
Okay, so
I love it.
Yeah, we're not going back.
Yeah, I know. You can never, because, I mean, every song gets a guitar solo here and there. Like, that's what we always get. But when it was like, that's a saxophone, and you're like, we never get that. And it made it so refreshing.
Awesome.
So
I'm glad it's hitting right.
Yes, that's it.
I don't know whether to think like backwards or forwards, but like, does your older stuff, because, you know, you guys have been making music longer than you've been on Tooth and Nail. I've only heard the two Tooth and Nail songs. Like, what, like, does your older stuff have trumpets on it? Yeah.
Our record we did right before this current release with Tooth and Nail, it was called Rich Coast, and has some folk vibes to it, but it's on a more cinematic side. It's still still alternative pop rock, but it's got some cinematic vibes to it. A lot of string and horn sections, just like orchestral elements. So the live trumpet was really nice to have, kind of backing some of those strings and horns.
That's cool, because as a trumpet player myself, there seems to be very little room for people like me in popular music.
Well, I feel like people either go all in with it or they don't just bring it in every so often. And it's nice just to have some of these instruments you don't hear in every song pop up every so often. It makes a nice change.
And I just want to say, if things don't work out, I also play the alto sax.
Oh, you can.
Oh,
maybe
perfect.
they need another person in the team down there. What do you think?
I'm just saying that if something doesn't work out,
more the merrier.
We could always use another trumpet sax player.
Yes, that would be good.
Yeah,
now,
I don't know. I think most.
Oh no, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I just think most like rock bands don't know what to do with brass.
Yeah.
It's just something. It's kind of a language you got to speak a little bit. I don't play it, but I know I hear it. And when we're writing, I mean, we try to make room for those instruments because they really. I think, and most of us do hear it. Like Josiah plays the best mouth trumpet of anyone I've ever met in my life. So,
well, let me just say this: that as your trumpet sax player, he probably feels like really comfortable, like he's going to be super hard to replace, and he doesn't have to bring his A game because you guys could never find somebody else like me. Just every once in a while, let him know.
Remind him.
There are people out there.
That's good.
I guess. Do this. Little fear, little
I have Obadiah's email address.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
In case you need it. But yeah, it's been since high school since you played, right? So no, okay, no, you're still playing. You're still playing.
Oh.
We don't have to talk about.
You guys broke up. I have no idea what she just said.
It's been a while.
She said I was an expert, and at one point I was playing trumpet with the Salvation Army when I was ringing the kettle.
You're just so good.
They may have asked me.
That's what I thought.
They may have asked me to stop, but it's cool.
Well, again, this is Kids. All Smoke No Fire is new on RadioU. So with touring kind of still pausing, like is there anything you guys want to finish the year with doing, or hope that when things pick back up in next year or whenever that you guys want to start going back to doing?
we have a really cool project in the works. I'm going to let Josiah talk about it a little bit more. He directed it, so it's pretty awesome. We're excited about it. Good.
Yeah, totally. So touring is obviously what you do after you release a record, and you don't do it in the midst of a pandemic. So we've done a bunch of live sessions in a studio with a lot of our friends, and we are going to start putting those out in the next few months. So All Smoke No Fire is going to be one of them, but it's live performances, sort of thematically in a studio setting, with kind of goes a little bit along with the concept of the record.
Awesome.
Yes.
So that'll be upcoming in the next couple of months?
Yep.
Good.
All right. Well, this is Kids, and we've got All Smoke No Fire. Is there anything else that, you've got an opportunity to talk to the RadioU audience that you kind of wanted to get out there about ways to get in touch with you or anything like that?
You just said a good one. Our band name is kind of hard to search sometimes. So if you are looking for us, our website is thisiskids.com, and you can get onto any of our handles that way, or simply search the album title, which is Lost Cities. Sorry.
As long as one of you has it,
then it's fine. It's no problem.
Yeah. That's why I'm here.
We need each other.
It's a team. It's a team effort.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for taking time to hang out with us this morning. And
the Lost Cities LP is what you can search, or Kids if you put it in all caps. Sometimes that helps too. And then
this
All Smoke No Fire.
In case you're wondering, yes, we do get complaints.
They have gone too far. This time, they are going to be held accountable.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Let's go ahead and see a show of hands. Who likes Subway?
Raise your hands. Anybody?
Sandwiches.
I feel like they had their big stuff back in the day, but I don't feel like they're as popular as they used to be.
They're still everywhere.
Oh, sure.
I mean, just so someone has to be eating in there.
I guess, but I think it's more of a convenience thing. Like, I'm getting gas. Okay, I need something.
I'll
There's
get
a sandwich.
sub.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. I just always feel like Subway's overpriced, and I guess that's because I don't want their practically white tomatoes. Because they're like, yeah, no, they're fresh. They're fresh. They're ripe.
Well, what are they doing?
Well, I love this. Apparently, Subway has been in a big argument with Ireland, the country.
For what?
For a long time. They say that, and again, it's going to be different for different countries, whatever. But apparently in Ireland, if you're selling food, it's not taxable.
Oh, okay.
That's the same in the United States.
Sure.
If you have an item that is food, it's not taxable. And I don't know exactly what regulations are now, but they are like strict on certain things. So, for example, if you went and bought some fruit juice, and it was made of 10% fruit,
that's not enough food.
That's taxable. But if you bought some fruit juice that was 100% fruit juice,
I see,
that is not taxable.
So it's really,
and so there's regulations.
It comes down to the details, the specifics about what you're eating.
And so Subway has finally lost what apparently has been a 14-year ongoing legal battle in Ireland. And the Supreme Court of Ireland has said, guys, you're not serving bread. And that means that it's taxable. They say there's too much sugar in the bread that they serve at Subway.
So it's
and therefore
processed.
It is not non-taxable.
So their stuff is taxable. That's fascinating. So their sandwiches would be taxable.
So, I mean, just to be clear, technically,
it's bread.
It's still food.
And that's why we probably really like the bread the most.
But
it's because there's so much sugar in there.
As far as Ireland is concerned, it is technically not bread. So they must see it as a dessert option of some kind.
I wonder how much Subway spent on that compared to like how popular they are there. Like, was that a big enough deal for them to do a 14-year court battle?
I don't know. So apparently in the United States, this is interesting. In 1972, they passed the VAT Act, which is the weight of ingredients in bread, such as sugar, fat, and bread improver, cannot exceed 2% of the weight of the flour in the dough. So I don't know what that is in the UK, but that's what it is here in the United States.
All right. So in Ireland, if you go to Subway, you'll get taxed.
You're paying the tax.
You pay the tax because the bread for the sandwich is not enough bread.
Too much sugar.
Too much sugar in it to count for their rules with that.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
You know, where are my streamers at? Anybody else do any streaming? Nikki and I stream the show.
We do.
We stream an after show today.
We are.
And then every once in a while we do an Obadiah Plays. Not as often as we should because the star of Obadiah Plays is lazy. And often does not follow through as he should.
Is that our other co-host you guys don't hear about too often?
It's my clone. He lives in the basement. So what one of the issues is when you're streaming is music. Licensed music, they're quick on that. They come at you fast.
And furious.
Yeah.
Like if you're on Facebook, it could just stop the stream. It'll pull it out. YouTube is terrible. It's just all bad.
And so Twitch has just signed a deal, it's pretty interesting. It's going to be called Twitch Soundtrack. So here's the idea. You will be able to pay to get the rights to stream music on your channel. Now,
like for if you're doing a live event or something? Or
now here's where it gets a little is that these are just going to be the songs that they have licensed. Now, they say there will probably be roughly, as I understand it, about 1 million of those songs. But, and this is where the big but comes in.
What's the but?
Let's say that you're streaming a game that has licensed music in it. Might not matter. Like
you could still get a strike for it.
You can still get a strike for it or still get a takedown or whatever.
So this might help you, but they're not guaranteeing it.
What they're saying is like, hey, are you the kind of person that likes to do a stream and you just like to have some music going in the background? Then you're able to sign up for the soundtrack option and then you can stream directly from their servers a soundtrack for your channel. And then you can have music, even though it might not be the music that is the game's music.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Does that bother streamers a lot? Like or people watching a stream if it's not the game soundtrack?
I think it just depends on the individual.
Or does everybody understand about copyright stuff? Like has a real understanding that sometimes you just can't.
You know what's funny is like with streaming for me, I don't watch random streamers. I just have a couple of people that I like that I will go and watch their stream. But I almost never watch a stream like long form. So, like, hey, I spent a couple of hours watching this stream. Nah, not usually.
Not too often.
I'm usually like drop in, drop out, check something out. So I don't know what the average person would say about a soundtrack. I'm not looking for like, man, I wish we could have some slow beats. behind this thing, that would be awesome.
So if you do anything on Twitch, this is Twitch only. It still doesn't help you if you're streaming to Twitch and other places. It's just through them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a step in a good direction. I still land on the idea of, hey, if you license your music to be played in a video game, then for crying out loud, can't we just cover the streaming?
That's not the case, though, if the person's making money off of it.
I get it.
That's the whole issue. If you were not monetizing it, then
you're fine.
You would be completely fine. But because especially big streamers make some really big money from these gameplay things, they're going to be mad at it because that's money off of their stuff.
I get it.
They know they can get money out of it.
That's right. So get that money. I wouldn't even feel that bad if a lot of it went to the artist, but
it doesn't even go there.
The artist is not like, man, I'll tell you what, I sent my kids to college because of Ninja streaming my game.
That's not the case.
The Riot, not everyone's a fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
Radio U.
You guys remember the lipstick pony?
The lipstick pony? The petting zoo where the people broke in to the petting zoo and did they put lipstick on the pony?
They put lipstick on the pony.
And they were riding it and then they caught it all on security footage.
No, they didn't even need the security footage.
Why?
Because they Instagrammed it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Everybody was tagging it and stuff. It was like a group of people that got into a little, not a pony park, but what am I wanting to call it? A little petting zoo.
Petting zoo.
Yeah, a little petting zoo.
Abma's Farm. That's what it was called. And so they were having a good old time. And you know what? Maybe the pony was having fun.
No, they said that some of the animals were stressed afterwards. They had to shut down for a few days. And even though the pony maybe was prettier after its makeover, it might have been unhappy.
Well, Nikki, sometimes when you go out partying, you have to rest.
It's true.
So, I mean, I still don't see where all the fault is being passed.
I think if I remember correctly, the pony or the animals that were ridden didn't normally like to be ridden, and they were just more there for, sanctuary sort of thing.
Okay. Well, Nikki, there were 7 people involved in the lipstick.
7 party people?
Party people.
7 of the lipstick parade people?
Yes, and they got them.
Yeah.
It was 3 17-year-old boys from Wyckoff, an 18-year-old man. I love that. How, 2 months later, you're a man. Yep.
Yeah, it's harder rules.
And then 3 17-year-old girls.
Aww.
So a total of 7. They're being charged with trespassing, criminal mischief, and overloading animals.
Because they weren't meant to carry, they weren't.
Who knew that was even a law?
It is.
But it is.
So what's going to happen?
I don't know. Whatever happens when you get trespassing, criminal mischief. And here's what I think happens. I think they end up probably pleading guilty to a lesser charge.
Here's what I see.
Community service.
Cleaning
the stalls at
the petting place. And what's going to happen is they're going to change their ways. They're going to love animals. They're going to have some sort of fundraiser. And they're just going to change the whole thing.
The only thing about that I want to challenge is, Nikki, maybe they loved animals at the beginning.
Not enough.
Maybe they didn't know.
They didn't know not to put lipstick on a pony.
I mean,
you're getting caught up with all your friends and stuff, but you're not supposed to bother the animals, and that's what they were doing.
I mean, you do it to your dog, right?
No.
You put the lipstick on the dog.
No, you don't. Not even lip balm. Nope, you don't do that.
Like on their nose
now, my
if
dog
it's getting
has
chapped.
eaten it, but you don't want it to. It's not optimal.
All right. Okay, I'm just saying that I don't like the idea that we're immediately jumping to these people don't love animals just because they put lipstick on the pony and rode it around a whole bunch when they shouldn't have.
And it wasn't just the pony. They bothered the other animals.
And the other animals.
Okay, as long as we're understanding that that's what they did.
Okay.
And is that bothering? Is that being mean to the animals?
Yes,
it is.
Nikki, when I put your lipstick on every day, does it bother you?
Well, we've gotten past that.
It's not weird anymore.
Okay, we're a team, and you're not a pony, so it is different. The pony can't speak up and say, hey, guys, get off me.
This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Nikki, can you be honest with us?
Sure.
Can you tell us the truth?
I think so.
Not hold back.
All right.
Okay.
About what?
How many Eminem tattoos do you have right now?
Eminem tattoos? I don't have any. I don't have any character tattoos.
Nikki.
I don't have any. I would tell you if I did. I do not have any.
What about that 8 Mile tattoo that you've got across your back?
8 Mile?
Wrong Eminem, Nikki.
Wrong Eminem. Oh, that guy. No, I do not.
Oh, does that changes your answer, doesn't it?
Are you asking me about M&Ms or Eminem?
I'm talking about Eminem.
Oh, no, I was thinking you were talking about like, hey, chocolate candy.
No.
That's what I think about first.
Okay, well then how many Eminem?
I don't have any of those. None of those and none of the other.
Don't lie.
No candy, none of the guy.
All right. Well, Nikki Patterson, apparently that's not you. Mm-hmm. She's from Aberdeen, which is in the UK. She now has the world record for the most tattoos of a single music artist.
Oh, and it's for Eminem.
She has 52 Eminem tattoos.
That's a lot.
It is, isn't it?
Do you see a picture? Like, is it sleeves or what she got?
Oh, yeah.
Are they all noticeable? Hey, sometimes you can hide a lot of them with your clothes, so I wasn't sure.
Well, Nikki, I'll tell you, here's a picture of her in a tank.
And so she's showing them off.
It's, yeah, like, I feel like, I don't know. Okay, you know how as a bartender, you're supposed to, at some point, cut somebody off?
Yeah.
You're supposed to say, like, hey, you've had enough.
Sure.
We're not serving you any more alcohol. I feel like as a tattoo artist, it might have been time for him to say, or her to say, like, hey, Nikki, we love you.
But stop.
And we appreciate your business, but we're not doing any more Eminem tattoos.
Did you see, though,
How about a nice Celine Dion?
Did you see, like, right on the wrist, there are some...
An actual, like, chocolate candy.
Eminem tattoos as well.
Well, she's going to have a sense of humor about it.
That's a lot of this guy. No offense, but it's a lot.
No, listen, offense. I'm telling you right now, I don't care who. Anyone you told me, even Jesus.
Even if it was the Lord 50 times.
I would say like, hey.
That's too many.
I feel like we're trying. At some point, I would want to talk to you about how maybe we should stop trying to prove something.
Sure. Well, maybe she wanted to go for the award, like for the most of an artist featured tattoo-wise on a body. Maybe she wanted that.
Maybe. I'm still not in support of it.
She said the portraits began 3 years ago. Loved them 3 years ago. That's a lot, actually, to get so many so fast. And so she adored them and had to get more. He's been the one constant in my life, and I have seen him perform live, is what she stated about him.
I'm going to back away now. I'm done.
She approached Guinness World Records during the lockdown. They did an evidence-checking progress. The world record was confirmed. The official world record was awarded for 15 portraits, and she has since then added a 16th one.
All right.
So that's a world record for you. Mm-hmm. Quarantine does all this.
Sure do.
We all get bored. I wonder if she is a tattoo artist.
No,
so she could do them on her own?
I believe, a hairdresser.
Oh, well, then how was she getting those during quarantine? Or did she already have them maybe ahead of time?
I don't know. Maybe she's trading haircuts for tattoos.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on RadioU.
So, Nikki, Dylan wants to know, he just texted, how are you doing?
Oh, we're good. Thank you, Dylan.
You're doing fine?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Nothing bothering you?
Just good.
How's your new Switch?
My new, don't. No, listen, we've been talking about that off privately. Don't bring that back up to everybody.
Yesterday I found an Animal Crossing Switch.
Yeah, which I know some of you guys have that one.
Some of you keep rubbing it in.
And you send that. And I have a normal Switch. I just... every so often I want to buy something and treat myself. And so I go back and forth. But it's still expensive. I own one. I don't need a light one as well.
Okay, well, how about this? If you want to treat yourself.
Treat yourself? What else can I do?
Well, here I got for you. Have you seen Google's new Chromecast that they released yesterday?
I didn't think that would be it.
I don't know if it's actually out, but they started, like they unveiled it yesterday.
Sure, what is it going to look like? Oh, I see it.
Chromecast is a dongle.
I know that.
So it dangles?
Yes.
On the back of your TV?
Dongle is the appropriate word for that.
It is.
It's got a remote?
Well, that's the new hotness, is that up until now, Google's Chromecast, like their big thing has been, there's no remote and there's no interface on the TV. Your phone
would be the interface?
The interface. So you pick up your phone and you cast to whatever. And you know what? At first, I thought that was really stupid. And then I realized, I always have my phone in my hand no matter what. I don't have to look for the remote. And so I really became a fan of casting.
See, the negative, though, for me is I would like to be watching or using my phone while I was watching something else on the TV.
You want two things?
Yeah, so it was always hard to cast things.
That's a difficult thing, Nikki.
It is, because then it just didn't work out as well.
Well, their whole new Chromecast thing is that it has a remote now, and it runs Android TV. So basically, it's now like everything else.
So it'll look the same?
Yeah, it looks like it's about $50 to pick one of those up.
It'll have the introduction of a built-in OS called Google TV, and the new remote control will have a built-in microphone, which will help as well.
So you can do the assistant searching and all that stuff.
When it comes to different colors.
It does. It says that it's actually available as of right now.
All right.
I thought it was not coming out yet, but no.
So what does this cost us?
$50.
$50. Does it do 4K, or it's just still streaming or
4K
casting?
HDR 60
frames per second. All right.
So that means that, yes, it will do that. It offers Dolby Vision, which is the good HDR.
I see.
Like most of you even know or care, but there it is.
There's a lot of choices for these items.
Yeah.
You just got to find the one that you like the most.
I think I have like a second generation Chromecast.
Oh, you do? But you're not interested in updating it if you don't use it too much?
No. And then on my main TV, I have an NVIDIA Shield, which runs Android TV, and then Android TV has something that's like cast ready or something stupid. So like you can just cast to it like you would anything else.
So they were saying, Google said that the remote control was the most requested feature that Chromecast users asked for the entire time. So that's why they're coming out with it.
To me, that is the biggest no-duh statement of the century. Like, of course it's the thing that people want. But who am I, oh mighty Google?
Have to see if you like it.
You're listening to the worst of the riot. Radio U.
Checking in with our local TikTok and correspondent.
Oh, it's just me, guys.
And experts.
It's just me. And I don't spend too much time. I don't want you thinking like that's the whole day. But I do, when having a few minutes at night.
Take some time
to snuggle up and just watch some of the For You page for a few minutes.
Okay, Nikki, how about this? You tell me if it's real. The TikTok teeth filing challenge?
Yeah, that was a few months ago.
It was. Okay,
it wasn't really a challenge.
It was people were doing it?
Yeah, it just started where people realized, hey, if you wanted straighter teeth, you can file them with like a nail file, which I've done once before a long time ago. Yeah, and it's not good for you. You're not supposed to, especially like across the board.
You can't see me, but I facepalmed that.
No, I chipped a tooth once, and I remember I was just like, well, you know, we can fix a little of that. But dentists say you're not supposed to because you're supposed to have the variations in your teeth.
Yeah. Well, they get varied by use.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes you get braces because they don't grow in right, or, you know, again, who are we to say what is right and what is not right?
Well, you're not. They do say that you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to file your teeth down.
Well, that's what I'm looking at right here. Is that I'm looking at an interview with a dentist that's like, hey, could you guys please stop filing your teeth?
Yeah. I mean, you can go to the dentist and they can even some of it out, but you're supposed to have the variations, and a lot of the people they see go too far, and so you can't go back unless
that's right.
Unless you go back to the dentist, and it's very expensive if you have any of your teeth fixed like that.
Yeah, as someone that has a cap on a tooth, I just want to let you know, you don't want that.
You don't want to. It
is incredibly expensive.
You'll get the pricing and think there's a mistake, and there is no mistake.
Like, excuse me.
Yeah, there's some extras.
I think the decimal point's in the wrong place on this. Would you mind fixing that for me?
It wasn't. So again, it's not so much of a trend, but people were just starting to do it like, hey, is this how you can actually straighten your teeth? And not like straighten your teeth, but like straighten the line that your teeth would have. Some people think that, you know, it's as sharp of a line looks better.
I just didn't know if it was real, and here's why. Because one, a lot of times news outlets, they'll be like, oh yeah, this is a big important thing, and two, it usually does come months after it actually matters. So that's why Nikki's here. The other thing this reminds me of is that just as a kid, my mom would randomly come into my room and tell me not to do things. Like, so I could see my mom walking in and going, you're not in here filing down your teeth, are you?
Just making sure.
Mom, what are you talking about?
I don't know if it's right to say, like, did this start necessarily in like the beauty community? Because of just having the perfect smile. But, you know, some people have done that.
Right there. I hate the phrase perfect smile. I mean, I'll admit that some people, I guess, have better smiles than others. But like, hey, if you love somebody, they have a great smile. Can't stand this nonsense.
So you're not into it.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh, no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
Mom, I'm cold.
They would be having trouble
Fix it!
with